A handsome young man, hard-working and kind, was cruelly framed and wrongfully imprisoned. To seek justice for himself, the young man vowed to uncover the mastermind behind it all and embark on a thrilling revenge from desperate circumstances. Before being wrongfully convicted, Taejong was a hard-working, kind, and reliable young man. To make a living, Taejong rode his bike delivering food all day, almost never resting. One day, while making his usual deliveries, Taejong noticed a potted plant on the stairway with leaves about to wither. Fond of plants and flowers, Taejong helped move the pot to a shaded area and left a note for the plant's owner, reminding them not to expose it to excessive sunlight. After finishing his delivery, Taejong encountered an elderly woman who asked him to help carry her suitcase. Without hesitation, Taejong kindly helped. That evening, Taejong sat outside a convenience store eating a simple rice ball meal. At that moment, a nearby stranger's phone rang. Taejong answered the call and heard a young woman's voice on the other end. The woman said she had lost her phone and hoped Taejong would help return it, promising a generous reward for his trouble. Eager to earn money, Taejong readily agreed. When he arrived at the designated location with the phone, Taejong discovered it was a remote, desolate tunnel. The woman called again, saying it was inconvenient to have a man come to her house, and asked him to place the phone in a telephone box inside the tunnel. Taejong did as instructed, placing the phone in the box and taking the payment envelope left inside. Having earned some money, Taejong was in good spirits, but he never imagined that tonight's events would be the beginning of a nightmare. A few days later, on a rainy day, Taejong was busy moving the rain-soaked plants indoors when he heard urgent knocking at the door. When he opened it, he found a group of police officers who, without explanation, arrested Taejong on charges of sexual assault and murder. Recently, a young woman had been murdered and dismembered. Somehow, the police seemed convinced that Taejong was the killer. Taejong felt deeply wronged and vigorously defended himself, but the police kept reminding him of the severity of the situation and refused to release him. Soon, his girlfriend and friends all learned of Taejong's arrest. His friends came to visit him in detention, informing him that his personal information had been leaked online. They urged Taejong to hold on, promising to do everything they could outside to help him. Later, his girlfriend came to see Taejong. Facing her, he loudly proclaimed his innocence, insisting he had never committed murder. His girlfriend believed in his character and promised to do everything possible to get him out. She hired a lawyer who stated that the priority was to find an alibi for Taejong. His girlfriend and friends realized that as a delivery driver, Taejong had records of every delivery. If they could find these records, they could prove he didn't have time to commit the crime. Inside the detention center, Taejong cooperated with his girlfriend, carefully recalling his delivery activities over recent days. Based on his account, his friends found the delivery receipts Taejong habitually saved and contacted fellow delivery drivers who had worked with him. They tracked down every location Taejong visited on the day of the incident and reviewed all nearby surveillance footage. Finally, through everyone's tireless efforts, they compiled Taejong's complete route and specific times for that day. When the court convened, the lawyer presented this evidence. According to the timeline, on the day of the incident, Taejong spent the entire day busy with deliveries and didn't have time to commit murder and dispose of a body. The timeline gave Taejong hope of clearing his name. However, the prosecution's concrete accusations quickly turned the situation against him. The prosecution presented satellite tracking data of Taejong's movements that day, raising several damning points. One was that Taejong had delivered food to the community where the victim lived, and the time between going upstairs and coming down exceeded normal delivery time. Taejong explained it was because of the potted plant. He had moved it and left a note, which delayed him by a few minutes. The prosecution asked again why Taejong had carried a suitcase that day. Taejong explained he had helped an elderly person as a favor after finishing his delivery. But the prosecution revealed that this suitcase was the very one discarded at the body disposal site. Forensic results confirmed the suitcase had been used to transport the corpse. Additionally, convenience store surveillance showed Tai-jung holding the victim's phone. Tai-jung explained he had coincidentally found it and planned to return it to the owner. However, the prosecution presented evidence proving that the tunnel where Tai-jung returned the phone was only dozens of meters from the body disposal site. Beyond these suspicious points, the prosecution produced a crucial piece of irrefutable evidence. Investigation revealed the victim was dismembered in her residential building, and male semen was found in the victim's body. Forensic results proved the DNA sample matched Tai-jung's exactly. Every piece of evidence pointed directly at Tai-jung. The prosecution accused him of murder and sexual assault. Tai-jung shouted his innocence, completely bewildered by what was happening. At this point, the prosecution spoke again. The green plant Tai-jung mentioned being exposed to sunlight didn't exist in that building at all. Tai-jung fell into despair. That day, his girlfriend came to visit him again, but by now, the lawyer had given up on the defense, and even his girlfriend had lost faith in Tai-jung. The reason was that in the crime scene photos, his girlfriend saw the couple's bracelet that belonged to Tai-jung. Devastated, his girlfriend removed her bracelet and chose to break up with Tai-jung. She could no longer convince herself to believe in her boyfriend. Soon after, Tai-jung was sentenced to life imprisonment and sent to prison, where an abyss of darkness awaited him. After entering prison and becoming a target for the other inmates, a public defender named Attorney Kim came to see Tai-jung. Attorney Kim appeared kind and compassionate, saying he had doubts about Tai-jung's case and believed the prosecution's investigation hadn't considered other possibilities. He hoped Tai-jung would try hard to recall any clues, promising to do his utmost to help. For Tai-jung, drowning in despair, Attorney Kim was undoubtedly a lifeline in a desperate moment. Tai-jung trusted Attorney Kim and mentioned the bracelet to him. He had recently noticed that the bracelet in the crime scene photos didn't seem to be his. His bracelet should have fallen in his younger brother's dormitory. That day, before making deliveries, he had taken a short nap in his brother's dorm, and the bracelet was lost there. Attorney Kim noted this point and stated this clue would open a completely new angle for the case, urging Tai-jung not to tell anyone else about it. As a newcomer to prison, Tai-jung suffered endless bullying. Now he placed all his hopes on Attorney Kim, believing that once the bracelet evidence was clarified, his wrongful conviction would be overturned. However, reality dealt Tai-jung another crushing blow. Attorney Kim didn't bring hope of a case breakthrough, but instead brought news of Tai-jung's brother's death. According to Attorney Kim, when he rushed to the dormitory, the brother was already dead and a suicide note was left in the room. His brother's death caused Tai-jung to lose his last glimmer of hope. That night, in despair, Tai-jung chose to end his life. But before his eyes, Tai-jung seemed to see his beloved brother, hearing him urge Tai-jung to stay strong and live on. Because of this faint vision, Tai-jung attempted suicide 3 times, but failed 3 times, enduring pain and despair. Now, Tai-jung was neither human nor ghost, existing like a walking corpse, barely surviving. His friends came to visit every month, but Tai-jung refused all meetings. He had lost all faith in life and living. On Easter, the prison chapel held an event, and Tai-jung was taken by guards to participate. The chapel chaplain, also a prisoner, brought Tai-jung a piece of cake and comforted his hollow shell with Christ's words, reminding him that even if he couldn't adapt, he should live on. Consider himself already dead and treat the rest of his life as God's grace, doing all the things he once regretted not doing. The chaplain's words struck Tai-jung's soul. Finally, Tai-jung broke down in tears. In the long, lightless time that followed, Taijong became a follower of Christ. While silently enduring all the bullying, he desperately faced life, reading, exercising, obtaining technical certificates, and planting seeds. Gradually, spring arrived. The saplings Taijong cultivated had piled into a small mountain, and the seeds he planted had sprouted. Due to daily exercise, he became increasingly resilient and tough. In the blink of an eye, 5 years passed. The saplings Taijong cultivated had spread into a grove. The guards regarded him as an expert on plants, coming to consult him whenever they encountered plant-related problems. Taijong could endure largely thanks to the chaplain, who often looked after him and treated him as a friend. But one day, the chaplain was about to be released. Taijong felt reluctant and sent off his only friend with sadness, bowing deeply to express his gratitude for the chaplain's care and companionship over the years. After the chaplain's release, Taijong replaced him as the new chapel chaplain. Originally, through his faith in God, he had found a reason to live. But one day, when a new inmate arrived and confessed to him, Taijong suddenly realized a dark truth. The inmate was new and also a young man. Taijong gave him the Bible just as the chaplain had taught him, hoping he could find strength to survive from it. However, during confession, the young man told Taijong he was wrongly accused. If he hadn't kindly gone to return a phone, none of this would have happened. Taijong was startled. The starting point of his wrongful conviction was also picking up a phone. Next, the young man mentioned a public defender. This person was attorney Kim, who had actively helped Taijong. Similarly, after meeting attorney Kim, the young man's mother committed suicide. However, the young man couldn't believe his mother died by suicide. A mother who always urged him not to do foolish things, how could she choose to kill herself? The young man's account shocked Taijong greatly. Every detail he mentioned, the process of his wrongful conviction, was almost identical to what happened to Taijong. From this, Taijong began to re-examine his case. The very next day, the young man who had confessed to Taijong died in prison, also reportedly by suicide. By now, Taijong was almost certain that behind his and the young man's wrongful convictions, there must be a hidden hand manipulating everything. To this end, Taijong proactively contacted attorney Kim, claiming he had thought of other clues. When they met, Taijong questioned attorney Kim. He didn't believe the similarities between his case and the young man's were mere coincidence. Sure enough, after questioning, attorney Kim dropped his disguise and revealed his true face. With a sinister expression, he admitted the entire case was fabricated. From the moment Taijong picked up the phone, a conspiracy had begun in the shadows. Afterward, his brother found Taijong's bracelet in the dorm and realized something was suspicious, but ended up being murdered. Hearing the truth with his own ears, Taijong was filled with hatred and rage, vowing that one day he would kill attorney Kim, clear his name, and seek bloody revenge. After making this resolution, Taijong went to the priest, returned to the Bible, and quietly took a nail under the chapel table, vowing that from now on he would repay blood with blood and tooth with tooth. The mastermind who designed the false case and framed Taijong was a young man. Yaohan specialized in helping wealthy people cover up troubles like murder. If a rich man's son caused trouble, Yaohan would have the son's father, a corporate chairman, pay an enormous sum to purchase a certain sculpture. Obtaining the sculpture meant Yaohan accepted the commission. Thereafter, he would carefully design perfect frame-ups, making innocent people take the blame while letting wealthy sons go free. Assisting Yaohan in executing cleanup tasks and fabricating crime scenes and evidence was a killer doctor. Attorney Kim was also part of Yaohan's group. One day, Yaohan received a call from attorney Kim, learning that Taijong had discovered the truth. To cover their tracks, Yaohan contacted the doctor again. At the same time the doctor received his assignment, Taijong in prison was also executing his secret plan. During this period, relying on his trained skills, Taizong no longer feared the prison boss and even beat his opponent until he was searching for his teeth on the ground, demanding he stop bothering him in the future. The prison boss was nicknamed Principal. Principal wanted to eliminate the increasingly powerful Taizong, but the warden privately found him and hinted he shouldn't act rashly. The two were in cahoots, doing murderous deeds in the prison. However, the recently wrongfully convicted young man had just died, and the warden worried things would blow up, so he told Principal not to make any moves in the near future. After his release, the chaplain took over his father's repair shop, barely making a living by fixing electrical appliances. Learning from the priest that Taizong had returned the Bible, the chaplain grew worried and met with Taizong, concerned he might be giving up on himself. Taizong shook his head and chose to confide his plan to the chaplain. He was going to escape from prison. The chaplain reminded Taizong that the prison was like an iron fortress. Escaping would be as difficult as ascending to heaven. However, Taizong seemed to already have a detailed plan. He said he wouldn't secretly climb over walls to flee, but would leave openly through the prison's front gate. To achieve his escape goal, Taizong began secret operations in broad daylight. During daytime cleaning, Taizong deliberately paid attention to guard shift times, door opening keys, delivery vehicle arrival times, and so on. He had to prepare everything meticulously. However, danger lurked within the prison. One night, an inmate was transferred to Taizong's cell, sent by Principal, who wanted him to teach Taizong a harsh lesson. Unfortunately, Principal miscalculated. Taizong sensed the danger, and after a few exchanges, he defeated the inmate while remaining unharmed. But Taizong also realized Principal was a major threat that had to be eliminated. So from then on, Taizong deliberately talked to Principal, mentioning his dead brother and sister, intentionally provoking him. Enraged beyond reason, Principal harbored murderous intent, but was subdued on the spot by arriving guards and put in solitary confinement. While eliminating this obstacle, Taizong asked Yang, a guard who often looked after him, for some seemingly useless sponges. Secretly, Taizong hid the sponges at the bottom of a flower pot and brought them to a warehouse in another area. From then on, he secretly attacked the inmate who cleaned that area, and then volunteered to replace him in cleaning that zone. While cleaning, Taizong went to the warehouse, took out the sponge, and used it as a mold to imprint the key's shape. Finally, when no one was paying attention, he applied adhesive material to the mold. Then, he hid the key waiting to be formed in a flower pot. Next, Taizong used the excuse of fixing a guard's car to actually sneak into the workshop when the guard left. Using his learned technical skills, he cut and copied, completing 2 keys. When the guard returned and did a routine check, he didn't discover the keys Taizong had hidden, because the keys weren't on Taizong's person, but were hidden inside the hamburger the guard had brought him. At the same time, the killer doctor working with Yaohan came to the prison under the pretext of giving prisoners vaccinations, but actually planned to secretly switch the medicine to kill Taizong. Fortunately, the warden inadvertently helped Taizong. The prison was about to hold a fighting competition, and the warden had bet on the capable Taizong, so, to avoid the vaccination affecting his condition, he had someone else take the vaccine in Taizong's place. However, Taizong's mind wasn't on fighting at all. The next day, he simply knocked down one opponent casually and left it at that. Today was the day Taizong planned to execute his plan. With only half an hour left until execution, the killer doctor discovered someone else had taken the vaccine as a substitute and insisted Taizong come for the vaccination. While watching the time, Taizong accepted the vaccine, unaware the doctor had switched it to lethal poison. After being injected, Taizong timed it perfectly and took out his hidden nail, inserting it into the power source to cut the electricity and pause the surveillance cameras. While the administrator went to check the power, Taizong snuck into the control room to steal keys, then used the copied keys to open the warehouse and secretly put on civilian clothes convenient for escape. He then used the stolen keys to open various iron doors along the way, finally reaching below the ventilation shaft. The ventilation shaft was the only place that could avoid the guard's sight. Taizong took off his outer prison uniform and entered the shaft, carefully crawling inside. The shaft wasn't too long, Before long, Taizhang could see the visitation room below through the ventilation shaft. After identifying the landing spot, Taizhang climbed down from the shaft, descending to another warehouse. Outside the warehouse was the corridor leading to the prison service office. Reaching the service office meant he was only meters away from the prison gate, from freedom. Taizhang disguised himself as a visitor sitting in the service office lobby, quietly cutting open a stone box an elderly person had brought to create chaos so he could escape in the confusion. Through his desperate planning, Taizhang successfully walked out of the service office gate. Unfortunately, the moment he walked out, the drug in his system took effect, making Taizhang feel the world spinning. Finally, unable to support himself, he collapsed at the door, falling short of success. When he woke, Taizhang was already in the prison infirmary. The doctor told Taizhang he had been injected with rat poison, but fortunately, because he regularly took vitamins, it diluted the poison's effects. Guard Yang noticed Taizhang's escape attempt and spoke harsh words, saying once Taizhang recovered, they would launch a related investigation. Taizhang asked Guard Yang to convey his thanks to the chaplain. It was the chaplain who had bought him the vitamins. It could be said the chaplain had saved his life once again. At this time, Principal had just been released from solitary confinement and immediately brought a group of underlings to cause trouble for Taizhang. However, Taizhang had long developed a habit of sensing danger. The blanket Principal stabbed contained no one. Facing Principal's fierce aggression, Taizhang single-handedly confronted him head-on. Principal had many people, but he underestimated Taizhang. With first-rate skills, Taizhang wiped out Principal's followers. Principal held a weapon and stabbed viciously. To survive, Taizhang's rage turned him into a wild beast. After several rounds, he subdued Principal and launched a deadly attack at this guy's vital points. Afterward, Taizhang was put in solitary confinement. During this time, Taizhang again saw his brother in a vision. He felt sorry for not being able to protect his brother and vowed to kill the murderer who took his brother's life. That very night, Taizhang and several other prisoners were hooded and beaten by guards, then loaded onto a secret prison transport vehicle bound for an unknown destination. Tonight's events were also Yao Han's scheme. Yao Han had extensive political connections. The previous morning, he met with the police chief and had the chief take him to see the prison warden. The chief gave the warden an order. Whatever Yao Han instructed must be executed without question. Yao Han handed the warden a proposal requiring more than 10 serious criminals to be secretly taken out of prison. As compensation, Yao Han threw the warden 2 pieces of gold worth over 100 million. The greedy warden readily agreed. Afterward, the warden found several guards and gave each a large sum of money to cooperate with his actions. With the warden's and multiple guards' cooperation, a total of 12 prisoners, including Taizhang, were secretly taken out of prison. At this moment, Yao Han was smugly reading the files of these 12 prisoners. Each criminal was heinous, except for the wrongfully imprisoned Taizhang. That night, Taizhang and the other 11 prisoners were brought to a secret location. One morning, all 12 were changed into white clothes. At this moment, they seemed to be in an abandoned factory, and standing at the highest point overlooking them was the mastermind planner, Yao Han. With mechanical coldness, Yao Han announced to the 12 prisoners that this was their land of opportunity. At this moment, Taizhang still didn't know that Yao Han was the greatest enemy who had framed him and brought him to this fate. The mastermind behind this incident, Yao Han, was the instigator who framed Taizhang. Yao Han is the representative of an investment company, a genius, and a madman. He once ordered the killer doctor to remove someone's finger and insert the real human finger into a fake sculpture. Privately, Yao Han operates a special security company that serves the wealthy, helping clean up after their children commit murder and finding scapegoats. 5 years ago, when the son of a conglomerate chairman killed someone, Yao Han took on the job. He dispatched his subordinates to the crime scene, then used modern technology to create a highly detailed 3D model of the scene. From 1,000 meters away, he could clearly see every drop of blood and every fingerprint at the crime scene. After mastering the crime scene details, Yao Han utilized his surveillance system spread throughout every corner of the country to find an unlucky person who appeared near the crime scene. Taizong, who happened to be making a delivery nearby, appeared in the area. After selecting the scapegoat, Yao Han sent people to follow and monitor Taizong's every move to gather all information about his personal relationships, preferences, and everything else. Then, a special cleaning team infiltrated Taizong's home to collect his fingerprints and anything else useful. Subsequently, the team attached Taizong's fingerprints, footprints, and other evidence to items related to the crime scene. They even took Taizong's discarded household garbage to extract his personal DNA. Through the doctor, they injected the semen into the victim's body, creating the false impression that Taizong had murdered and assaulted the victim. Regarding the fabrication of a killer, Yao Han was meticulous, never missing any detail. After discovering through surveillance that Taizong's bracelet was lost, Yao Han immediately ordered a replica made and placed it at the crime scene. Later, through the lawyer, he learned that Taizong's bracelet had been left in his brother's dormitory. The killer doctor then infiltrated the dorm, killed the brother, and destroyed the evidence. Even all the details of Taizong's presence at the crime scene, from helping the elderly woman with her suitcase to moving the potted plant in the stairwell, all these details were custom-tailored by Yao Han based on Taizong's personal characteristics. After completing this precise fabrication and setup, Taizong became the scapegoat for the conglomerate chairman's son, as Yao Han had planned, and was wrongfully imprisoned. Conversely, Yao Han used this to establish deeper profit ties with the chairman. Now, 5 years later, beyond framing innocent people, Yao Han has started a new hunting game. That night, the prisoners, including Taizong, were transferred to a secret factory. While the prisoners were confused, they discovered the factory was filled with lavish food. The prisoners, who hadn't tasted such delicacies, immediately began eating and drinking gluttonously. After eating, the prisoners were taken to separate numbered bedrooms. Most fell asleep peacefully despite their confusion, except for Taizong. Late at night, Taizong tried to escape. The area was surrounded by armed mercenaries standing guard. Taizong carefully hid while moving step by step toward the exit. However, there were too many cameras nearby, and Taizong was eventually discovered. The mercenaries aimed their guns at him. Yao Han even drove over, beckoning Taizong to approach him. With a seemingly kind demeanor, he said he would take him back to his room. Naturally, Taizong didn't get in the car, but instead questioned why Yao Han had brought them here. Yao Han revealed in advance that soon the prisoners would participate in an unprecedented competition. After being forced to return, Taizong saw that Principal and his group who didn't get along with him were still gorging themselves in the common area. Principal once again insulted Taizong, threatening to get revenge sooner or later. The two sides were about to fight when the mercenaries above fired warning shots, temporarily stopping the confrontation. The next morning, accompanied by loud broadcast sounds, the dozen or so prisoners greeted a brand new yet dangerous morning. After putting on the white suits Yao Han had prepared for them, the prisoners were gathered in an open area of the factory. Yao Han stood at the highest point and announced, "This is a land of opportunity, a racing arena. Next, the prisoners will need to race in randomly assigned vehicles. The competition has no rules whatsoever." One prisoner, dissatisfied with Yao Han's lawlessness, refused to participate in the game. Immediately, Yao Han pulled out a gun and shot him dead on the spot. After this demonstration of killing, the remaining prisoners finally shut up obediently. In the tense atmosphere, Yao Han's subordinates drove in a truck. Yao Han stated that inside the truck was $5 billion in cash, which would belong to the winner of the competition. Next, the prisoners needed to go to the maintenance station according to their number plates to retrieve their corresponding vehicles. Yaohan would give each prisoner a chance for a private meeting with him where they could ask about anything they were curious about. Besides the participants, Yaohan invited 2 spectators. One was Bai Meng, the conglomerate chairman's son who had killed someone years ago. Yaohan explained to Bai Meng that racing was a kind of dogfighting game, similar to the death matches in ancient Roman arenas. He hoped Bai Meng would personally witness this battle of trapped beasts. After this, he planned to expand the competition into an underground business spanning the world, making more prisoners become fighting beasts and attracting countless wealthy people to place bets. Later, the prisoners came to the factory's maintenance station and received their respective vehicles. Since they were randomly assigned, each person's vehicle, from brand to performance, was completely different. Some got top-tier sports cars, while others, like Principal, were assigned broken-down sedans. Among the prisoners, Wen Sen Nan was the first to request a meeting with Yaohan. He bowed and scraped to Yaohan, proposing to establish a long-term partnership, promising to become Yaohan's most useful toy. Principal also met with Yaohan. If he won the competition, he hoped Yaohan would reward him with something else. Principal wanted Taizong's life. Yaohan laughed heartily. He didn't care about the player's life or death. If Principal had the ability to kill Taizong in the game, he would quietly watch. Since the competition had no rules, the prisoners began fighting each other. Everyone wanted to get the best car. Among them, several prisoners came to see Taizong, wanting to establish an alliance with him and offering him the high-end sports car they had obtained. That night, Taizong helped repair and reinforce the sports car. At this moment, Wen Shangnan brought several people to steal the car. However, Taizong swiftly knocked Wen Shangnan away like lightning. Taizong's high profile drew Principal's displeasure. Principal drove his car fiercely pursuing from behind, both wanting to kill Taizong and seize the vehicle. But Taizong had a fearless attitude, driving hard and crashing violently toward Principal. Principal was hit and left dizzy. Seeing this, Yaohan ordered the mercenaries into action. As the mercenaries fired warning shots again, Principal and his group temporarily ceased their conflict. But due to the earlier crash, the sports car belonging to the 4th numbered prisoner exploded. The instant the sports car exploded, Taizong accidentally discovered a nearby ramp specifically for transporting vehicles. The ramp led to the free world outside. From this, Taizong again conceived the idea of escape. To attempt a second prison break, the next day Taizong requested a meeting with Yaohan, actually using the opportunity to talk while observing the surrounding terrain and situation, looking for any possibility of escape. The race day was tomorrow. Tonight, Taizong gave his car a complete overhaul. Thanks to the technical licenses he had obtained in prison over 5 years, Taizong was already skilled at modification and car repair. The next day, the prisoners speculated about the upcoming race. Wen Shangnan turned his attention to Taizong. Based on Taizong's previous performance in prison, Wen Shangnan was certain Taizong would be the final winner, even if he drove the worst car. Therefore, Wen Shangnan and his partners agreed to find ways to eliminate Taizong. Yaohan contacted Wen Shangnan and agreed to his long-term partnership proposal, stating that he had placed a gift in his car. He hoped Wen Shangnan would use this gift to make the competition more interesting. When race time arrived, the prisoners drove their respective cars to the arena one by one. Before the race, Yaohan emphasized again that the competition had no rules, which meant each racer could win by any means necessary. As the racers prepared, in the upstairs room, Bai Meng, the conglomerate chairman's son, and others had already rolled up their sleeves and started placing bets. Accompanied by the sound of tires scraping the ground, an intense life-and-death contest was about to begin. Relying on his modified vehicle, one prisoner floored the gas pedal and sped away. But halfway through, the car suddenly caught fire and exploded, and he died on the spot. Seeing this scene, the chairman's son clapped and cheered, shouting that the game was spectacular. Yahan's gaze, however, fell on Taizong. Since yesterday, when Taijong met with him, Yahan felt Taijong looked very familiar. Carefully recalling what Taijong had said, Yahan suddenly remembered. Taijong was the scapegoat he had personally framed 5 years ago. After confirming this, Yahan ordered Wenshe-nan to eliminate Taijong on the racetrack. Receiving the command, Wenshe-nan drove in relentless pursuit of Taijong. The other prisoners also viewed Taijong as a threat and all chased after him from behind, including Principal. However, too many people create chaos. In no time, multiple cars crashed into each other during the pursuit. Taijong took the opportunity to leave the cars behind far in the distance. Yahan activated a drone to search for Taijong, only to see him suddenly emerge from a corner riding a motorcycle. With superb skills, Taijong rode the bike and leaped high over Principal's head. The chairman's son on the other side of the screen applauded in amazement. When Shen-nan couldn't let Taijong go, he opened Yahan's gift, a gun, aimed at Taijong and kept firing. But Taijong had already set up a mechanism. Behind the motorcycle, he used chains to hang a container. When Wen Shen-nan drove closer, he was caught by the container, causing both man and car to flip over. Witnessing this scene, the Yahan changed the game rules. From now on, the game's objective was to capture or kill Taijong. The winner would receive double the prize money. For this money, Principal pulled out a knife and engaged Taijong in hand-to-hand combat. But he still underestimated Taijong's fighting ability. In just a few rounds, Taijong completely killed Principal. Up above, the crazed Yahan grabbed a sniper rifle and kept shooting at Taijong. While dodging, Taijong got on the motorcycle. After noticing Taijong's gaze toward the ramp, Yahan suddenly understood Taijong's real purpose for meeting him yesterday. To escape, Taijong violently released the chain on the container, causing it to be thrown out while triggering a massive explosion at the scene. Amidst the bloody sea of fire, Taijong rode toward the ramp at full speed. At this moment, the furious Yahan had already pulled the trigger. In the racing game, Taijong seized the opportunity, mounted the motorcycle, and fled desperately. He was lucky enough to avoid Yahan's bullets and successfully landed on the riverbank. After escaping, Taijong avoided crowds and came to the electrical repair shop of his former inmate, the chaplain. Now that he was outside, Taijong called him Uncle Lu. Uncle Lu not only bandaged Taijong's wounds, but also took him in and gave him a smartphone. Taijong went to the columbarium to visit his mother and younger brother. His determination for revenge grew even stronger in his heart. To find out the mastermind behind the framing incident, Taijong planned to start with attorney Kim, who had deceived him. After some searching and investigation, Taijong quickly located attorney Kim's whereabouts. That night, he tracked him down and severely taught this hypocrite a lesson. While searching attorney Kim's office, Taijong discovered photos and information about a young woman. He questioned what attorney Kim planned to do with this material. Under Taijong's threats, attorney Kim had no choice but to confess the truth. He admitted the woman was a model selected to be imprisoned in someone else's place. The framing process involved stalking the target and collecting details of their daily life, all things Taijong had experienced himself. While Taijong was shocked, the killer doctor burst in and engaged Taijong in a life-and-death struggle. However, neither the doctor nor the lawyer was a match for Taijong. After Taijong subdued the lawyer a second time, the lawyer told him that the doctor was the murderer who killed Taijong's brother. At that moment, the detonator threw into the room. Fortunately, Taijong grabbed the woman's file and broke through the window at the same instant as the explosion, then escaped the scene in the chaos. When Yahan learned of tonight's events, he killed the doctor to silence him. To Yahan, the doctor was just his toy, and killing was an entertaining game that improved his mood. Taijong was still at Uncle Lu's electrical repair shop. Based on the lawyer's words, it wasn't difficult to deduce that the woman in the photo, Sue, was the next innocent scapegoat about to be wrongfully imprisoned, and that Sue must be under surveillance. Indeed, at this moment, Yahan was monitoring Sue's every move through his omnipresent surveillance system with no blind spots. Sue was the owner of a hair salon. She was designated as the scapegoat because of the special nature of this case. In the commissioned case Yahan received this time, the murder weapon was rather unusual. After comparison, Yahan discovered that the shape of the weapon resembled scissors used in hairdressing, so after some consideration, he designated Sue as the scapegoat. Outside, Taijong was trying every way to help Sue. He believed Sue's case would be the key to unraveling the secret of his own wrongful conviction. Taijong asked Uncle Lu for a pile of electrical parts, and after some tinkering, made surveillance equipment. He installed it on a utility pole across from Sue's hair salon. To help Taijong, Uncle Lu gave him some money and promised to do his utmost to assist his mission. Taijong was deeply moved. For him, who had endured so much hardship, Uncle Lu was his last source of warmth and support. Over the next few days, using parts from Uncle Lu's shop, Taijong installed cameras everywhere around the hair salon, then hid in the shop, spending all day observing suspicious people who appeared near the salon owner. One day, while observing, a girl came into the shop to steal Uncle Lu's money. Taijong subdued the girl and made her return the money. Only when Uncle Lu came out to explain did Taijong learn the girl was Uncle Lu's daughter, Xiaying. Xiaying had a rebellious personality. Upon first meeting, she extorted money from Taijong, saying if he wanted to stay in the shop, he had to pay her weekly. After taking the money, Xiaying gave Taijong a punch in return. Taijong was speechless. This was truly a strange girl. After several days of observation, Taijong identified a vehicle from the surveillance footage. He discovered these people appeared around the hair salon at the same times. Beyond this, Taijong also thought of something crucial: the victim's phone. In his own case, he had never seen the victim, yet the victim's phone location matched his movement route perfectly. Based on the surveillance information, Taijong determined that a motorcycle followed the salon owner almost 24 hours a day. Combined with his own case, Taijong was certain that an incident involving a lost phone and its return would happen next. Sure enough, when Taijong rushed to the hair salon, the owner had already gone out. The owner's daughter told him her mother had gone out to return a phone. Fortunately, the owner had written down an address before leaving. Taijong hurriedly rode there. He knew he had to arrive before the salon owner returned the phone. The salon owner, Sue, fell for the trick and came to the agreed location to meet with the supposed phone owner, a woman. Luckily, the moment the woman received the phone, Taijong arrived on his motorcycle and snatched it away. Like lightning, he shook off the pursuers. The escaped Taijong was undoubtedly a huge threat to Yaohan. To find Taijong, Yaohan contacted Officer Huang, who had been investigated for accepting bribes. He promised to drop all investigations against him and tempted him with a promotion and raise in exchange for finding Taijong. Officer Huang first went to the prison to understand the situation. In the prison, the kind-hearted guard Yang was questioning the warden about Taijong's disappearance. However, the warden had already colluded with Yaohan and didn't plan to publicize Taijong's disappearance. He lied to guard Yang and asked her to cooperate with Officer Huang in privately tracking down Taijong. Officer Huang carefully examined the cell where Taijong had stayed and discovered Taijong had hidden his case files under the bed. Later, Officer Huang viewed Attorney Kim's body. Due to the explosion, the lawyer's body was unrecognizable. Next, the officer planned to visit Uncle Lu, Taijong's former fellow inmate. At Uncle Lu's shop, Officer Huang kept questioning. Uncle Lu tried hard to conceal the truth, but the officer spotted inconsistencies. The officer insisted on entering a certain room to check. Uncle Lu couldn't stop him in time. At that moment, Uncle Lu's daughter was in the room. Learning the visitor's identity, Xiaoying flew into a rage, cursing fiercely and declaring the officer's actions constituted illegal trespassing. She unceremoniously threw him out. Taijong thus narrowly escaped. Returning to Uncle Lu's shop, Taijong checked the phone and discovered its owner was a pianist. Clearly, this person was the victim. The mastermind wanted to create the false impression that the salon owner had killed and taken the pianist's phone, thereby fabricating a fake movement route. Therefore, Taizong determined this phone was crucial to the framing. Learning the police had come, Taizong wanted to leave Uncle Lu's shop, unwilling to bring him trouble. But Uncle Lu wouldn't let him go, believing the officer probably wouldn't return, so his shop should be the safest place for now. Using the pianist's phone, Taizong began taking action. He called the woman who had contacted the salon owner, claiming he had found the phone and asking her to bring money in exchange. The woman believed him, thinking Taizong was just an ordinary thief. After getting approval from her superior, she agreed to Taizong's demand. That night, the woman came to the designated location carrying a money bag. Taizong observed from not far away, having the woman give the money to a delivery person who arrived by bike, then having her retrieve the phone from a mailbox in a certain building. The woman successfully got the phone, unaware that Taizong was following her from behind. Following the woman, Taizong entered a secret warehouse. He knocked out one of the workers inside, then put on the person's work clothes and went deeper to observe. He discovered people inside were collecting fingerprints, hair, and other so-called evidence from various everyday items for use in framing people. Taizong quietly recorded the scene on his phone. At the critical moment, Uncle Lu called. Uncle Lu had observed through surveillance that an uninvited guest had entered Sue's hair salon. Because of this call, Taizong was discovered. Fortunately, his skills were superior, and he managed to escape during the pursuit. At this moment, Yao Han's subordinate, a female assassin, had already infiltrated the hair salon. The assassin was about to attack the salon owner when Taizong arrived just in time and engaged the assassin in an all-out fight. The two fighters were evenly matched. Luckily, Uncle Lu called the police in time. Before the police arrived, the two brought the salon owner and her daughter back to Uncle Lu's shop. Xiao Ying happened to be in the shop too. Xiao Ying's gaze fell on Taizong, and she discovered he was actually a gentle and kind person. Taizong showed the salon owner his investigation materials and frankly told her about the impending frame-up. The salon owner had nowhere to go, so Taizong and Uncle Lu persuaded Xiao Ying to temporarily take in the mother and daughter. Xiao Ying was also kind-hearted, and that night she let the salon owner and her daughter move in. But at the same time, recent events made Xiao Ying sense something unusual. She realized that perhaps Taizong wasn't a vicious killer. Under Xiao Ying's questioning, Taizong confessed he had been wrongfully convicted. Xiao Ying stayed up all night, lamenting that Taizong was actually a pitiable person. Because of tonight's events, Xiao Ying, who had long been at odds with her father, gave her her phone number for the first time. Uncle Lu was overjoyed and immediately saved his daughter's number. Returning to the shop, Uncle Lu and Taizong watched the news and discovered the murderer who killed the pianist was already dead. This made them realize the salon owner wasn't the only scapegoat in this case. Taizong went to the secret warehouse a second time. This time he discovered that all the workers inside responsible for collecting physical evidence had been killed. From a nearby conveyor belt, an object fell. It turned out to be the female assassin's severed head. Besides this head, there were also photos of the salon owner and Taizong and a bag of cash left for Taizong. Realizing the mastermind was mocking him, Taizong was filled with rage. At this moment, a photo of the conglomerate chairman's son appeared on the large screen in front of him, with a note below stating this person was the real killer. The arrogant Yao Han even provided an account name, urging Taizong to seek revenge on the chairman's son. In the shadows, Yao Han saw himself as God, arbitrarily directing this grand game. All the people in the warehouse had been killed on Yao Han's order. The previous day, learning his subordinates had done the foolish thing of spending money to get the phone without his knowledge, Yao Han immediately ordered the female assassin to kill those responsible for the warehouse. Now, having Tai Zhang go after the chairman's son was because he had been threatened by the chairman. Due to Tai Zhang's escape, the chairman and his son blamed Yao Han, even degrading him as a servant. Yao Han naturally wouldn't allow anyone to lord it over him, so he planned to use Tai Zhang to eliminate the chairman. At this moment, Tai Zhang's heart was occupied by anger, unaware that extreme danger lay ahead on his path. To make the game more interesting, Yao Han easily hacked into Bai Meng's social media account and changed the private account to public, deliberately letting Tai Zhang track down Bai Meng. According to the post information in the account, Tai Zhang learned that Bai Meng was currently in Busousan. For revenge, Tai Zhang went to Busousan alone. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Officer Huang and Guard Yang were still continuing to track down Tai Zhang's whereabouts. At this moment, Tai Zhang called Guard Yang, claiming he would catch the real killer himself and clear his name. Officer Huang snatched the phone and heard the Busousan station broadcast in the background. He immediately set out for Busousan to make the arrest. Uncle Lu couldn't reach Tai Zhang for a long time and began to worry. Uncle Lu's daughter, Xiao Ying, was also somewhat concerned about Tai Zhang. Together with her father, she went to the detention center to confirm. After understanding the situation from the priest at the detention center, they were certain Tai Zhang hadn't been arrested. Fortunately, Xiao Ying was quick-witted and remembered that her father had given his own phone to Tai Zhang. The father and daughter went to a phone store, claiming the phone was lost. After some searching, they quickly located the phone's position and discovered Tai Zhang was in Busousan. In Busousan, Tai Zhang had already found his target, Bai Meng. Bai Meng was holding a party on a yacht. Tai Zhang quietly infiltrated, didn't hide, and immediately confronted Bai Meng. He secretly started his phone's recording function, trying to lure Bai Meng into confessing his crimes. Bai Meng recognized Tai Zhang as the scapegoat, but was extremely arrogant. After killing someone, he felt no guilt whatsoever. He even called a group of thugs to eliminate Tai Zhang. Tai Zhang engaged in a life-and-death struggle with the thugs. However, the leader among them knew martial arts, and Tai Zhang was at a disadvantage in the fight. Bai Meng contacted Yao Han, boasting that he had captured Tai Zhang. Additionally, he realized that for Tai Zhang to know his whereabouts, Yao Han must have betrayed him. Yao Han pretended to admit fault and promised to refund the money Bai Meng had paid him for his services. As for Tai Zhang, Bai Meng could handle him however he wanted. Yao Han was just that kind of lunatic. Today was the 10th anniversary of Yao Han's parents' death. Yao Han's family members gathered at the temple to pray for the deceased. A psychiatrist, and believed that after experiencing the tragedy of his parents' death, Yao Han must have psychological trauma. Yao Han played along with his uncle-in-law's imagination, putting on a sorrowful appearance. But when he turned away, he revealed a cold smirk that no one noticed. His aunt was anxious to sort out the inheritance left by Yao Han's parents and organize the shares. Yao Han appeared submissive on the surface, letting his aunt make all the decisions. But in reality, Yao Han secretly instructed his blind nanny to eliminate his aunt and all the relatives. The nanny brought an assassin, and in mere moments they massacred all the relatives. Even at death's door, the aunt's words revealed a secret. From the conversation, it was learned that the nanny was actually Yao Han's biological mother, a woman the family viewed as a lowly outsider, yet the only person to whom Yao Han would open his heart. Once upon a time, fearing that the nanny might be unable to endure the relative's oppression and leave, young Yao Han went so far as to pour hydrochloric acid into the nanny's eyes, causing her to go blind. But to Yao Han, this was his way of showing love. And she, whom he regarded as his biological mother, graciously accepted this love. After speaking, the nanny wielded the weapon and sent the aunt to the afterlife. Meanwhile, in Busousan, Taizong was bound in the cabin of the cruise ship. Fortunately, at this moment, Uncle Lu and Xiao Ying arrived. While the two were searching privately, they saw Officer Huang and Guard Yang leading a team to the area. The situation was urgent. Uncle Lu and Xiao Ying split up to search for people. Officer Huang and Guard Yang did the same, searching for Taizong in different directions. The thugs contacted Bai Meng, notifying him of the police's arrival. Bai Meng then came to the cabin where Taizong was tied up to transfer him, only to discover Taizong had vanished. Just moments ago, Uncle Lu had sensed something unusual about this ship, entered it, and rescued Taizong. Unfortunately, Guard Yang subsequently discovered Taizong and Uncle Lu. She urged Taizong to return with her, promising to help him through official channels. Uncle Lu spoke up, saying that if Guard Yang truly wanted to help Taizong, she shouldn't just talk about it. At this moment, Officer Huang appeared and blocked their path, but unexpectedly, from behind, Xiao Ying launched a surprise attack on the officer, then mercilessly sprayed a fire extinguisher at Guard Yang. Thanks to the father-daughter duo's coordination, Taizong was successfully rescued. That night, Taizong fell asleep in Xiao Ying's room. Xiao Ying thought about Taizong's gentle demeanor and became certain in her heart that Taizong was definitely not a bad person. The next day, Taizong thanked Xiao Ying. Because of Taizong, the relationship between Xiao Ying and her father had improved considerably. Taizong repeatedly listened to the recording of Bai Meng mocking him, trying to find flaws in it. Meanwhile, Guard Yang, following the message Taizong had sent her early that morning, came to a storage locker at the station and retrieved materials about Bai Meng inside. Bai Meng called Yao Han, suspecting that Yao Han had sent people to take Taizong away. The perceptive Yao Han instantly understood. Taizong must have helpers around him. Taizong was talking with Uncle Lu. It was strange, although he had gone to Busousan with a vengeful mindset, deep down what he really wanted was just an apology. Hearing this, Xiao Ying became even more certain that Taizong was a warm and good person. To find Taizong, Bai Meng summoned more thugs. Meanwhile, Taizong secretly modified tools and made himself a gun. Later that evening, Bai Meng posted on his social media account inviting Taizong to a showdown the next day at 9 p.m. Before the showdown time arrived, Taizong listened to Uncle Lu's story. Uncle Lu recalled the sad past. Years ago, he had an argument with his wife. During the process, he accidentally dropped a cigarette butt in the room, which started a fire. Afterward, out of fear, he didn't dare enter the house to rescue her. Therefore, the police determined it was premeditated murder of his wife, and as a result, he was resented by Xiao Ying for many years. Early the next day, Taizong was practicing his shooting skills. Since it was a homemade gun, what shot from the barrel wasn't bullets, but equally lethal nails. Xiao Ying called Taizong out to eat breakfast. Her best friend noticed that Xiao Ying seemed to have fallen for Taizong. Xiao Ying rode to the convenience store to buy cigarettes and saw Officer Huang appear in the store. The officer had tracked Taizong's phone signal there and was searching for the exact location. Xiao Ying hurriedly left, but soon Officer Huang remembered that the girl who rode away was Uncle Lu's daughter and immediately pursued Xiao Ying urgently. Fortunately, Xiao Ying's riding skills were excellent. She successfully shook off the pursuers and urgently notified her father and Taizong about the police's arrival. To help Taizong, Uncle Lu and Xiao Ying used a diversionary tactic. While the officer was chasing the father and daughter, Taizong escaped along the rooftop to a small alley and rode away on a motorcycle parked there. But the officer forced Uncle Lu and Xiao Ying to stop and discovered Taizong wasn't in the car. Realizing he'd been deceived, Officer Huang was extremely frustrated but helpless. Guard Yang questioned Uncle Lu once again about Taizong's whereabouts. Uncle Lu still refused to reveal it. In her eyes, Taizong the murderer had never existed. The one she was helping was only that Taizong who was risking his life to prove his innocence. Later that evening, Uncle Lu and Xiaoying returned home to find Xiaoying's best friend unconscious on the floor. The one who attacked the friend was Yao Han, standing nearby. Through his omnipresent surveillance network, Yao Han had learned that the ones helping Taizong were Uncle Lu and Xiaoying, but he was puzzled. Uncle Lu and his daughter had no relationship with Yao Han, so why would they spare no effort to help an outsider? It was precisely to satisfy his curiosity that Yao Han appeared here. Realizing the visitor had ill intentions, Xiaoying attacked angrily, but neither she nor Uncle Lu was a match for Yao Han. Bearing anticipation for the game's outcome, Yao Han brazenly left the area. 9 p.m. at night approached. Taizong arrived on time for the appointment and demanded that Bai Meng apologize to him. However, Bai Meng remained utterly arrogant. Not only did he refuse to apologize, but constantly mocked Taizong and declared he would kill him tonight. Furious beyond control, Taizong drew his gun and shot at his enemies one by one. After several rounds, almost all the subordinates had been taken down by Taizong. Only that thug who had defeated Taizong remained fierce and formidable, constantly launching lethal attacks on Taizong. But he underestimated his opponent. Taizong seized the opportunity and viciously attacked this guy's vital points, achieving a stunning victory. Seizing a good opportunity, Taizong abandoned the motorcycle, leapt into the thug's car, and effortlessly eliminated all the remaining thugs inside. He then drove in a high-speed chase with Bai Meng. The two cars raced at breakneck speed, almost parallel to each other. At extremely close distance, Taizong shot through Bai Meng's car window and, like a bulldozer, crushed toward his enemy's vehicle. At this moment, outside the tunnel, at this time, Bai Meng's phone rang. The caller was Representative An. Taizong remembered very clearly, when confronting Bai Meng, this guy had mentioned that it was Representative An who designed everything. Representative An was Yao Han. Taizong answered the phone. Yao Han didn't intend to hide his identity. He mentioned the racing incident from a few days ago. At this point, Taizong suddenly realized that arrogant and presumptuous guy was the mastermind behind everything. On the phone, Yao Han spoke in a detailed tone about the car accident scene where Taizong was located. Taizong suddenly realized this guy was nearby monitoring him. Taizong questioned him, wanting to know what Yao Han's purpose really was. Yao Han answered lightly. He was just assembling pieces while having fun. Additionally, Taizong's brilliant performance had given Yao Han the idea of recruiting him. He promised to give him 5 billion and help restore his identity. Taizong spoke bluntly. He had lost his life and his loved ones. No amount of Yao Han's money could buy that back. In the dark night, Taizong declared he would make Yao Han completely fall and ensure he could never speak such nonsense again. But Yao Han was fearless. He wasn't afraid of Taizong's revenge or anything in this world. Earlier, Yao Han had personally killed Bai Meng's father, the assemblyman who paid him to cover up his son's murder. Yao Han even revealed a secret to the dying assemblyman. In fact, Yao Han's parents were killed by his own hands, simply because his parents were going to donate their fortune to the temple. And at that time, Yao Han was a 16-year-old boy who, with extreme composure, framed a murderer for his parents' deaths while disguising himself as an innocent youth who had lost his parents. After the assemblyman was eliminated, Yao Han's cleanup team quickly cleaned the scene. Yao Han then fearlessly entered Uncle Lu's home and Taizong's room, observing everything about Taizong, and burned the family photo of Uncle Lu with his wife and daughter. He was very curious what kind of counterattack would Taizong launch against him next.